They're like, oh yeah, a guy with Pensy Steam comes in every once in a while. They're not really much. Really test the LED in the headlight, but we'll take this at 10. Proceed to 15. Hello, everyone. This is Pensy Joe here, and today we got another in-depth review. Now, for those who are fans of high-speed train and have been subscribed to my channel for a while, your time has come. And this time for a product review on a brand new product. This is a Lima-Expert line. Now, I don't know why it's going out of focus. Ooh. Sorry about that. But this is a Lima-Expert line. Intercity Express, HO scale, Deutschbahn base train set. Now, Lima, I believe, got bought by Rivarossi some time ago. Because on the website I got this from tusa.com. I'll have a link in the description or below, and I'll have it on the screen right here for those who want to go right there right now to check it out. It's under Rivarossi, so my guess, and Rivarossi is owned by Hornby, by the way. Rivarossi must have acquired Lima at some point, and then Rivarossi got bought out by Hornby. And this is pretty much their expert line. So Lima Expert line is pretty much like the top of the line kind of stuff. And interesting enough, Lima had some of the Jouef tooling for their TGVs. Specifically the original orange livery one. Now you might be wondering, well, hang on, how does an Italian manufacturer have like French tooling and the French then took their tooling, even though they're all owned by Hornby at the end of the day? Well, how do I know this? Well, the first sign is that the coupling system between the locomotive and to the first intermediate car of the train set, the coupling system between there are identical to some of the Lima, higher end TGV trains that are newer, not the old ones, but the newest you can find by Lima. They look very similar, if not the same. So my hunch is that they used to be tooling under Lima, and then Jouef took those and made it their more premium line. So you can get the one with the proper lights and sounds and whatnot. But that's pretty cool. It's really interesting how all these companies got bought up by Hornby eventually. And I'm a fan of Jouef's higher end TGV train sets. So when I saw this one, I'm like, well, I had the Chinese train set, and to be honest with you, I had to sell it and I had to get rid of it because it wasn't that really well performing on my club's layout, and it wasn't practical to go anywhere. There's no traction tires on it for it, and yes, I added weight to it, but the problem was it couldn't go fast enough like it probably should have, and it didn't have enough between the car up and down movement. So each coach did not have enough, up and down movement in order to negate over dips and whatnot, and that's what caused a lot of derailments. So I was like, well, I'll have to get rid of that and sell it and find someone else to work on my, high-speed train collection. So then I found this, and I was like, this is a really good value. I want to try these out. So let's get started. This is a little bit of information. Now that's in German. But yeah, look at that. This is a late, sometimes some 80s to 90s. Ooh, so you got it in Deutsch, and you got it in English as well. Unfortunately, those photos are all in, though all their text and stuff is in German, but that's okay. This is made for the German market. So, the new Intercity Express, Germany's departure into the high-speed age. On June 2nd, 1991, the time had come. Germany's railways entered the high-speed era. In previous years, the Federal German Railways and the German rail transport industry not only planned and built two new high-speed lines, Hanover and Würzburg, and Mannheim, Stuttgart, but also developed a completely new high-speed train, the Intercity Express, or ICE in short, with 1,200, well, not 1,200, 12,800 horsepower up to 1480-minute intermediate carriages and a top speed of 280 kilometers per hour. The elegant high-speed trains, classified as BR-401s, quickly became the backbone of high-quality rail transport in Germany. Now, the set I'm getting, unfortunately, does not have the extra coaches out yet, so I'll have to wait until early next year. I talked with the retailer, and they said that the manufacturer is going to hold on to producing those cars until next year, early next year. So I'm probably not going to run this train at the fair, unfortunately, because I planned on getting an 11 car unit set. So it's a shame, but in the meantime, we'll enjoy this. Now it says the innovative and comfortable interior design of the trains is in particular set worldwide standards. Exclusively adjustable seats with integrated audio and TV modules, an open plan and compartment arrangements, a digital passenger infotainment or information system. It used to be called, I thought it'd be infotainment, but that's a newer word than that. The elegant onboard restaurant or the conference compartment in the service car were nothing less than a quantum leap on rails and contributed to increasing the number of passengers between Munich and Hamburg by 13% within the first year of operation. Between 2006 and 2008, the 59 ICE 1 trains went through an extensive redesign in which a completely redesigned interior and the style of the ICE 3 was installed, which still characterizes the train today. The ICE 1 will continue to run on Germany's railway network in the future. Since 2020, the ICE 1 has been refreshed for the next 10 years, shortened to 9 intermediate coaches or carriages. Okay, well, I'm a little bit over prototype, but that's okay. The ICE 1 can now also be seen more on secondary long-distance routes. So these guys are pretty much, for the beginning, they used to be the grandeur of Germany's high-speed train, and now they're secondary service, which is still cool. Unfortunately, TGV's Sud-Est models or prototypes are no longer in service, but they're older than these. I mean, the Sud-Est is not about I would say just about a decade older than this set. They came out in the 80s, tested late in the 70s, but came out in the 80s. So for Germany, you're a little bit behind, but back then. But now you got Siemens is really doing really well with EMUs, which are electrical multiple units. So down here, it's in German, unfortunately, but it's an HO scale, and this is what we have right here. Now, I would think they would look pretty white like that, but in the box, they're more like a champagne white. Very interesting, to say the least. I'm going to try and open the side of the box, and we'll take a look. But yeah, this is a really nice box. I really like how this looks. Here's the back side. Detail scale model for adult collectors. Colors and contents may vary from those illustrated. Please retain these details and the address for future reference. Obviously not for suitable other children. This is for adults, guys. This is for people who can understand this stuff and not, break it. So, yeah. Can't throw these in trash. These can be recycled. Manufactured by Hornby Hobbies. So yeah, this is Lima's owned by Hornby now. So I got the side of the box open. So let's see what we can do to pull this out. This is a sound model, so it has DCC and sound. Now some people are already wondering, how much did you pay for this set? And you might be surprised. These are cheaper than Jouef models, strangely enough. I thought that was interesting. They're like almost $100 cheaper. I got this for $324. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, you know what it might be? It's probably the lighting conditioned. But yeah, these are really nice. Very beautiful. These are like, I'm guessing for the coaches, between the cars and some extra details, I guess. I'll look at the instructions in a bit. Let's still try and get this box out. There we go. Wow, these are really nice. They're very nicely detailed. Obviously, they're not real grills, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure Fleischmann or Markland has really nice versions of these as well. To be honest, I like this off-white kind of look, and in person they look off-white. This is white, but it also looks white on the video. These are not grab irons; they're molded in, which is fine. Again, these are. I'm guessing this is the dummy car. This is the dummy car. It's got screws on the bottom, mainly plastic, and this is the coupler. Interesting enough. And it looks like, I'm not sure how this coupling system works. This is very different for me. But I hear you can switch the coupling system, so that's interesting. I might have to add some lubrication on this. It's a little bit stiff, but that's okay. The wheels feel like they freely roll, which is good. Better than Jouef's dummy units. That's what it looks like. It's got a cab interior, which is cool. There's no crew in there, so that's unfortunate. But you can always add them inside there if you want. I'm trying to see if there's different colors in there, but I don't think so. But that's okay. It's great that there's a cab detail in here, and it looks like there's multiple headlights. So there's the main headlight and two lower headlights, and these do have marker lights, so reverse lights. So if there's like if this is the back of the train, most likely it would glow red, and I see two little red lights in those headlights down there to do the end of the train. Intercity Express on the side, and here's the in-between car part. So this is very similar right here. This coupling system is sprung. I'm kind of curious on how much up and down movement is allowed within these cars. I hope there's a good amount. I'll have to figure it out once I put these together on the track. You have the pantograph right here. Pantograph does go up. That's pretty cool. And you could always add more details to this if you want to and weather them and whatnot. I'll keep mine clean because I like my models to look clean. Pretty much the same amount of details on a regular Jouef TGV, except the Jouef TGVs normally do not have cab details, but this does. And which is really cool because when we do like the interior detail of the main locomotive, because that's the primary focus, is what does the power car have? Now the power car is obviously going to be one of these end cars. This has weight to it. So I know there's a motor in here. Now from what I understand, I believe this tabs off and then there's a screw under here. And it's very easy to open this compared to Jouef. So that's cool. I like that. I like when it's easy. This is obviously geared. And the difference between Jouef and this is, look at this. The gearbox is covered. That is good. You don't have to worry about gunk and crap going up in there. So that's good. It says Lima. And of course, it's made in China. Plastic looks pretty good. And here's the thing. It could have been just a flat piece of molded piece right here. But I think it's cool that they added some, detail under here that suggests that there's detail on here. And we got pizza flanges. This is because, they want to make sure that there's a high-speed train that stays traction. There's a track tire right there. One on each for each opposite side of the rail, so it has maximum traction when it goes to speed. Again, cab details. We're going to see some lights later on when we do some testing. And the pantograph also goes up as well. So, I'll see you guys in the next section where we'll take off the shell and we'll look inside and see what we got inside this model. So this is this is a really, really cool set so far, so we'll see how the internals look and see how reliable this could be. Alrighty, so now that we're over here, I'm gonna take, so I already tested this, and this just easily pops out, which is pretty cool. We'll unscrew this piece right here. Now let's see what happens. Now I'm not sure, you might have to still spread this open, so if I do have to do that, I apologize. It might take a little bit longer, so I'll stop it right here. I think I gotta still spread the chassis open just a little bit, but I think it's cool that there's some screw, and hopefully this is easier to open than the Jouef one, so I'll let you guys know after this. I gotta use both hands. Okay, so that was interesting. I guess those screws were also on the bottom side, helped open this up, so that's pretty cool. It's not really hard to open this, and look at this. We got metal rods. This is a low mounted motor, so that's pretty cool. And we got an LED board right here, so they can do the reverse lights and all that stuff. And the other headlight down there, pretty cool. This is a low, so similar to the Chinese bullet train. The gearboxes are really low inside here. So if I want to, I'll have to take out this JST plug right here to really get a look, and probably unscrew that. We got motors minus, motors plus, left track, right track. Give me, there you go. And this is the speaker. This is where the speaker housing is. Pretty cool. This is the front. So this is where the board's supposed to be facing. So yeah, pretty cool. I really like how this is all set up. Again, it's kind of hard to see. I want to see what's inside the gearbox for the gearbox tower. So we'll do that first to see what the gearbox tower looks like inside, and then we'll go to the go and see what the motor looks like. Because this is a 5-pole skew-on motor, and I want to know if it looks similar to the Hornby Jouef models. Alrighty, so it's a little bit tedious than I thought, but all you have to do is take, your tweezers and then lift it on one of these triangle sides, and it should pop right off. Well greased in here, and in there are, if we can try and focus this, there's a thrush washer in here. It's the clear piece in between here, and there's one on the other side. A little bit hard to see, but after fiddling around with this, I did notice that there was a thrush washer in between each side of the worm gear. So that's pretty cool. The gears down inside are pretty much, they remind me a lot of the one found in the Hornby Jouef trains, except there's a cover under these. So I don't have any problem with that. I believe these gears are pretty reliable gears. I believe they are plastic, so to each their own. However, these are very well, and I mean, they're small gears, but they're well reliable and well in the realms of reliability. So I'm not too worried about the gears boxes inside these. And this is a low gearbox, so the motor's mounted low in here. And if you look inside here, there's a lot of room still inside this model. Even when the shell's on, there's still a lot of room inside this model. So if you want to, drill out some of the sides and have some interior, electronic details in here up in the top end of this, you can. It is really cool. It's pretty cool how they did this. Again, it reminds me of the Chinese bullet train that I used to have. So we'll put this back on. I should click back into place like that, and I can still rotate. I'll probably will lube those turning ports right there, so that there's not a wear from the plastic or anything like that. So the next thing we'll do is we'll unscrew. Let's see if there it is, my screwdriver. I'll need that. Oh, some of the screws fell out, but that's okay. I know what screws they are. We'll take this. Try to take the screws off, but actually, I don't know. Can I? Nope. I don't think these guys... I think these guys got rounded a bit. Or my screwdriver is too big. Or too small. Maybe too small. Let's see. I don't want to... Let's see. That's what I don't like about these metal ones is that... Yeah, I don't have enough grip. That's a shame. Let's see. Can I use this guy? Well, no, he's too big. That's a bummer. Let's see. Nope. Too big. Well, that's a bummer. No. Alright. So, bad news. I cannot unscrew this. I don't have a screwdriver that could fit in here. That's similar to this one. Right here. But it's either fatter or that fits in here, right? And I do not want to strip these screws. Because if I need to access this motor for whatever reason, which I shouldn't, because there is a 5-pole motor in there. And if I can get the light on it, I really do believe this is just the Jouef TGV motor in here. I don't see a reason why they would have anything else in here, so... Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think the 5-pole motor is probably exactly the same thing as that they put inside the Jouef motors, which is either a Walther's proto motor / Walther's train what is it? No, train line, mainline motor. So it's one of those 5-pole skew-on motors. So those are pretty good. I wouldn't worry about that. And it might be a Kato clone as well, so even then, the Kato clones are basically exactly the same thing. They might be better, I don't know, but the Kato 5-poles are legendary. And again, it could be a Kato clone, and that's just one of those things. I really wish this. I mean, this is a weight right here, and this chassis is made out of metal too. Pretty much almost exactly like my Renfe, my Electro Trend, which is also owned by Hornby, Electro Trend Talgo 350 train set. So that's pretty cool how similar these guys are together, except this is lower. This is really interesting. And the reason why they did that, so they can probably fit this cab in there, which is pretty cool. I hope that Jouef changes their toolings at some point to do something like this, because this I praise. It's actually not that hard to take this off. You have to take off this screw, which we took off, this piece to get, which is not hard to take off, and 2 screws here. I think Jouef should change the tooling on how to screw your TGV shell on, because this wasn't hard, and I prefer this way, 100%. And I hope Jouef hears this, but I don't, or not Jouef, but Lima or Rivarossi hears about this, because this, or Hornby, just if you're watching this video somehow, please do this for all your high-speed trains where it's just 3 screws and it's easy to just fly right off. Please, on your future TGV train sets, do this, because I do not like taking the shells off of those things. They're a pain in the butt, but they're really nice running models. Now, right here, we got a Luxsound 5 decoder right here. Good stuff. I can't wait to try out the sounds. So, in terms of details, this is a really nice model. You got a cab, big detail, and you could probably take this cab out if you want. You would have to force it a bit, but you could probably take that cab out by getting it off the glue. I probably won't. It would be cool to put crew figures in there, but just to put crews in there, it's kind of like, I don't really want to. Especially when I have to glue it back in. But it's like, well, you're not a true modeler. It's like, well, some of those people, But to be honest with you, if you want to put crews in there, you can. The drivetrain, to me, seems very solid. I'm pretty sure this will run flawlessly for a very long time. And it's great that I don't have to, always have to take this off to check for lube or grease. You can actually put your, label inside here and maybe squirt a little bit on one of the gears, label 108 and then 106. Yeah, you do have to use, your tweezer just to go like this and just force it up. It will come out. It won't break it. Same thing on this side. You do the same thing on this side, and it's got a good amount of grease in there, so I'm not worried about it. I can't wait to do testing with this at the club. I was expecting more of the coupling system, and it looks like there is a little circular joint so it can move up and down a little bit and keep the cars close. And I'm like, why didn't, Sino models think about this? However, I don't think the coaches light up, but if they do, that would be really cool. I'm not sure if they do. They probably don't, but we'll get to that in the next season. Not next season, obviously. We'll get into the next section where we'll do some testing on the track, and we'll run around with the full train, the current base train set, and we'll see how she runs. And then I'll give my final thoughts on this Lima-Expert line ice train set. Hey everyone, before I do the running session, I just want to let you know this is what the coupling system is, and this is what it looks like right here. So it'll plug in basically like this, and it'll go inside the front, or whatever coach is in the front, and then it'll couple like that to wherever coach is behind. And I'm kind of actually impressed with the articulation. And it goes like this, and it moves like that, and it stays close when it goes back to central. So that's pretty cool. And it can move up and down. Same with like that. It can move up and down. So be careful with these couplers. You obviously don't want to break these. Now it comes with a spare one. It came with these spare intermediate coach pieces, and it came with, a spare coupler in case one breaks. But obviously don't break it, guys. You don't want to break that. But that's pretty cool. I'm actually curious how this will work on my train layout. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up first before I do the test running and the sounds.
Sehr verehrte Fahrgäste, bitte steigen Sie jetzt zu. Der Zug fährt in wenigen Minuten ab. Sehr verehrte Fahrgäste, bitte Vorsicht am Gleis 1. Ein Zug fährt durch.
Meine Damen und Herren am Gleis 1, bitte steigen Sie ein. Ihr Zug fährt jetzt ab. Vorsicht an den Türen und bei der Abfahrt des Zuges. Damen und Herren an Gleis 1. Bitte steigen Sie ein. Ihr Zug fährt jetzt ab. Vorsicht an den Türen und bei der Abfahrt des Zuges.
Alrighty, so yeah, this is pretty cool. After testing the train, it performs it's pretty similar, if not the same as the Jouef TGV trains. It's a little bit slow at first to power up, but I think when the generator gets warm up, if you want it to crawl, you have to barely crack from the controller, and then it'll start crawling. But I have a dial controller. It doesn't have like a speed step kind of thing, so to each their own. I'll have to see how this performs at the club. It ran perfectly smooth, going full speed around for a little bit, couple laps, and I did some reverse as well. It works very well in reverse. Now I'll have to see how it will work with a full train set when that arrives early next year. Who knows when. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed again. I'd like to get a full train set of this. This is a really nice model. The details are good. They're great. I can't tell. I believe those are windows, and I believe you can see inside there, but it's rather dark in there, so I'm not sure how much of an interior is inside there unless I open the coaches up. But the windows are inset on those doors, and those coaches have a kind of pinched near the end, so that's cool. All the coaches are really kept close to each other, and diaphragms are pretty much on point with each other, and it's really cool. I really like how this is done. Again, I'd have to test this at the club to see how well it does on the inner loop, because the inner loop of the club, for those who do not know, has issues, especially by the bridge. It's really the bridge that has the issues. However, I think on the rest of the track, this train set should be fine. I haven't really tested the twisting action, but since I'll try, I guess, the twisting action should be fine. Other than that, the details compared to some of the Broadway engines I have, especially the E6, which is the last in-depth review I've done, obviously it's not as detailed as that. But this is a high-speed train, so I do not expect to be there that much detail really on these. It's supposed to be streamlined. I know the grill should be see-through, but that's okay. It doesn't really bother me that much. You could, if you want to pay a little bit more for, I guess, a little bit more detail on a actually rather streamlined passenger train, and maybe some undercarriage details on the coaches, you can if you want to. That's totally up to you. Markland, see if you can get one of those if you want as well. And it's going to cost more. I'm pretty sure they might have metal shells on their trains, on their locomotives. But even then, for what this is, it's a fast train. It's no slouch. At half speed, it's probably going 80, 90 miles per hour. And when it goes full speed, it's pretty much double that. So this is pretty much the definition of a high-speed train right here. It's pretty fast. It does what it needs to do. And the details, I'll be fair and I'll be realistic with the details. The details are good. However, there's no lighting in the carriages, which is a shame, but it is what it is. You could probably do custom lighting if you want in these. It's totally up to you. I probably won't do that in mine until later on if I really want to do it. I just don't want to compromise, how well these run, and I have yet to test these at the club as based the way they are. So I'll have to test as a 4-car set first and see how it runs, and then I'll test my full set when the rest of the expansion coaches finally arrive next year. It's unfortunate that it's most likely this is not going to run at the fair for everybody to see, so that's a shame. So yeah, details, I would say they're fine. They're good. Are they the greatest? No, you could probably check out Fleischmann and other manufacturers, maybe for better detail. This is the only Intercity Express 1 era, version 1 era. This is era 4-5. So this is the only one I have reviewed. I'm probably not going to get another one unless, unless this channel gets big enough where it could pay for itself for the hobby, maybe. I can review other ones and then, pretty much do a bid on eBay, see who wants it, and I could use that money again. So I can't tell you how well it compares to the other ones since I don't own them, but I've seen others in videos, and to be honest, they look very similar, except maybe they might be more white, or, they might have more details. Those grills might be more see-through, and they're actually, have depth to them, and there's more, stuff going on the inside to have that depth, especially with the grills on the side. So, and all the lettering and all that stuff on the coaches look great too. I mean, they look really great. These coaches look really fine. And yeah, they're not the most detailed, but for the price you get, for $324 as a base set, it's not too bad. It's not really that bad. I mean, you get a nice locomotive with a pretty well, reliable, drivetrain that I'm familiar with. And for those who probably do other high-speed trains, and, the Jouef line, they're in those boxes over there in the white boxes, they are pretty reliable, in terms of the drivetrain. I haven't heard a lot of people complain, especially in America, about probably because not a lot of people actually own these high-speed trains, which is a shame because these are really nice sets, guys. I mean, even as a starter set, yeah, you don't get track or anything like that, but it's a DCC and sound model for like $324. It's not that bad, really. I mean, look at this. You get a decoder in the rear that does the lighting. Yeah, it does not do sound, but that's okay. It does the lighting that matches for the front. And I'll have to program these. I'll probably program it 401 on here, or whatever the last 4 digits are. It says 401 506-1. So that's what probably will be the number for these. For both of these is 5061 or 5061. Because I know the 401 is pretty much the prototype, and then the number after that is probably the road name or the road number. That's my guess, but I could be wrong. For German viewers can probably tell me if I'm wrong. Probably am, but I have another German loco that's by Roco that will probably tell me otherwise. Mechanism, I've already said it numerous times. I believe it's really pretty robust. The transfer axle, for the drivetrain, the drive axle's metal, so that's pretty cool. There's some rigidity. It's not going to snap right there. Universal joints are something I might be concerned about, but I think they should be fine. Just make sure you lube those. They were well lubed when I got mine, so if you do feel curious and are nervous, you can lube those. Gear tower looks pretty good. The gears are red in there, and those red gears are pretty much the same as the ones in the Jouef ones, so I say they're good. And there's definitely spare parts out there, and I'm pretty sure there can be spare parts coming out there. So you could probably, contact Hornby if you have any issues. I don't know about Hornby service, to be honest with you, so I can't really part that as part of the review because, this is a fine model. The sounds, I'm kind of curious. There's not a lot of sounds, and the sounds are fine. They sound good. And the speaker's got a little bit, vibration, but I could always probably tape down that housing more so there's not a lot of vibration going on inside the shell. Which is fine. The sounds are pretty good. They're pretty much similar to the sound file that I have for my Talgo train. However, there's a good amount less than I would thought there would be, which is fine. I'm not bothered by that. This is a factory decoder installed model, so if I want to, I could always put like whatever sounds I want inside this model and have it sound different or whatever. I'll have to look up the prototype on Lux Sound if I want to change these. But yeah, the sounds are good. They sound fine to me. The sounds are pretty clear and crisp, so that's also good on that. Speakers could be better, but you know, they're fine. Overall, what would I rate this train set? Well, the details are, you know, again, it's a streamlined, you know, high-speed train, so you're not going to see too much details. So I'm going to have to say, overall, this train is, it's a 7 out of 10. Now, it's closer to the 8 than I would say 6. Now, you might be running, 7, really? You're going to vote it for it like that? It's like, well, there could be crews inside the cab. There could be a little bit better detail on this model. But, you know, for $324, you know, the box is pretty nice. Unfortunately, it's a regular foam box, but it keeps everything snug inside there. It's pretty tight on these models, so be careful when you slide these coaches and locomotives in and out of the box. You know, you don't want to break off those, you know, antenna details and whatnot, and pantograph and all that stuff. So, other than that, you know, it's 7 out of 10. That's good. That's really good. And you might be wondering, wow, this is scoring higher than a Broadway model. And it's like, well, think about it like this. Problem with Broadway models is, if you remember looking inside the locomotive, that's 21-pin decoder. You can put, you know, wherever you want. And then Lux Sound, even though Lux Sound prevents you to, and that's kind of the downside, is that Lux Sound, you have to have a Lux program if you want to change, you know, sound files and whatnot, which is a bit of a shame, and that's part of the reason why. The value is pretty good. I think the value is fine. You know, for this simple set, I think it's fine. You know, you get 2 coaches, and the coupling system's pretty good. I'll probably, you know, it'll probably change the score if it doesn't perform very well at my club. I'll probably add some Labelle 108 on the part where it pivots to go up and down in between there for those bars, so that it has a little bit more free moving. So that might help it when it hits, like, you know, those sudden dips that are on my layout, on my club layout. But it's also a problem with the club layout. It's not necessarily the train set itself. You know, I can't entirely, and you could probably say, well, it's the same thing with the Sino models. Yes, you can say that. However, even though those cars were lit up, there's no traction tires for it to go really fast, which is a shame because it will slow down pretty much on even the widest of curves, which is a shame unless you have an ultra flat surface. Now, when I got it out of the box before I added weight to it and it lubricated, the swivel, the Y connection points so that it keeps it close to the cars, I had to lubricate those so that they could, be easier to be smooth to move and turn, so that it reduces the amount of friction, so that when the train zips around, it's not having friction to slow it down because of the turning of the cars bending in on the right side when it's going around the curve that way. So it's just it's a shame because I did like it, but for the value for DCC ready, and it's nicely detailed, really nicely detailed, but there's no crew and there's no on that one. So that one was a problem, unfortunately. I have higher hopes for this one. This one seems more promising, and I'm interested in Rivarossi stuff. I wanted to try and get into Rivarossi somewhere, and I wanted to get another high-speed train. And I figured, what? I want to try some of the German stuff. I got 3 TGV sets from Jouef. I want to try what, an intercity express train would be. And yes, I do have, pretty much 3 red train sets now. I got the Phallus. I got this one because it's got the red stripe. And I got the magenta colored stripe on the Talgo train. But that's okay. this is a really unique set. I think the engineering is really well thought out. Some people are like, well, it's plastic, blah, 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 blah. And the plastic's actually pretty smooth, actually. This is pretty smooth plastic. The plastic's fine, guys. My concern is if the plastic's going to corrode, like just crack out of nowhere, and it's really weak. And there are some Broadway models recently. I'm looking in particular at the decapods, not mine, but I've seen people have their boilers crack, their plastic boilers crack on their decapods. So, you know. But yeah, 7 out of 10, guys. That's what closer to an 8 than a 6. That's what I rate this train set. Reason why a couple points are taken away. Again, could have had some more detail. Could have had some lighting inside it. Could have had some, you know. It's really mainly details. You know, it's really the details. And I would say some of the sound files, there could have been more sound files on here. It could have had some more sound files. Speaker could have been a little bit better. But there also could have been lighting inside the coaches. And even for $324, if the coaches could all light up, that would be cool. Otherwise, you're kind of spending like, $45 per coach, which is an ouch. But they're nice. I really do think these are nice. I mean, if you want to get, you know, a DCC and sound equipped, you know, Intercity Express train set, I believe this is it, in my opinion. But yeah, it's good. I love it. I think it's a really fun train set. I'm really impressed. And to be honest, you know, if I wanted to do a review on my TGVs again, I'm going to say, and this is probably why I'm going to lean it closer to an 8, a little bit more, probably a 7.7 out of 10 or 7.8. I could take the shells off of the motor car and rear car easily. Those Jouef models, the yellow one, the orange one, and my Thales ones, those are pain in the butt to open. And you have to be careful, otherwise you'll break the body or, you know, the lower part of the body on the undercarriage. And that has happened on the yellow one. And it was a very small piece of plastic broken because of the stressing of using, you know, plastic spreaders. But man, I really wish Jouef can just redo that tooling just a bit and make it like this, where it's just 3 screws. And that's it. Like, and there's a tab in the rear that tabs on the top. And you pretty much like, you put it in from the rear and then you put it down and then you turn it over, right? And then you put the 3 screws in. That's it. That's how easy it is to open the shell of these. Hornby, please do this for the Jouef models in the future, because then the Jouefs will probably get higher praise as well. So yeah, I hope you guys like this review. I'll definitely do a review, and probably not a 2.0 review, but I'll probably, you know, review the other coaches when they come along and see how they are. Anyways, guys, this is Pensy Joe signing out again. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.